All right, welcome in. I'm the Kodiak Broncos Podcast, and today I'm bringing you a brand new video where I'm talking about the Broncos getting some new updates with their new stadium. But before we get into it, I just want to say a couple things. First of all, drop a like if you enjoy. You can always wait until the end. Hopefully, I'll have earned it. Make sure you subscribe. You guys have been killing it with the sport lately. And what do you think of my new background? I got a new background again, and then I just want to introduce you guys to my very handsome cat. This is Caesar. So I also want to know in the comments, what are your overall thoughts on the new stadium? Like, what new features do you guys want? Do you want a dome? Do you want a retractable roof? Let me know what you guys think. Now for a feature presentation. So, once again, I made a video on this channel 3 months ago saying that whether you like it or not, a new stadium was almost definitely coming for the Denver Broncos. And what happened at the owners' meetings where Penner and Leach and, a bunch of other dudes were answering questions about a potential new stadium, it just proves that the proof is in the pudding as far as building a new stadium, and there have just been way too many rumors for something to not be happening in regards to building a new stadium. Walmart also did not buy this team for $4.5 billion to stand pat value-wise with the stadium, merchandising, and overall value. So you may be saying, well, the Power Field doesn't really need upgrading. It's perfectly adequate for right now, and I completely agree. I don't disagree with that sentiment whatsoever. But once again, you and I did not spend $4.5 billion to acquire the Broncos 2.5 years ago. Therefore, with Walmart acquiring this team for that much money, they're going to do anything they can to increase this franchise's value. And just look at the Raiders. Like, they were in Oakland. They were one of the least valuable franchises in the NFL. And I believe they shot up all the way to 8th because of how many events they get in Las Vegas and the fact that they make probably, I think it was reported 60, 70 million a year just based off of non-Raider games a year. So, yeah. But with all the surveys going on, the public pressers ideas thrown out there, it's coming to fruition. Now, the only questions that we have is where is it going to be? What new features are going to be included? Like, that's all we have to talk about with the new stadium as well. So here are some notes from the owner meetings in Miami. So Penner said that we're exploring options in Aurora, Denver, and Lone Tree, but no time frame. So basically, this just basically tells me that they've narrowed it down to 3 options. I think the current site is probably where they'd look to in Denver. Like, they would literally just do with what we did with the Mile High Stadium, where they literally just built it next to the current one, and then it was ready because you don't have to switch anything. You already have the parking lots, the infrastructure. People know how to get there. There's already a light rail stop there, but he said no time frame on that. So Penner also said that the decision is for the next 40 or 50 years, meaning this is probably going to be a pretty substantial investment for the Walton Penner Group as well, because you have to build something now that's pretty sick. And I imagine that with their money, it will be the most expensive stadium ever built. But you have to build something that will sustain for the next 40, 50 years. And to be completely honest with like Highmark, with Allegiant, with SoFi, like in the Titan Stadium, it looks like everything is pretty promising as far as, the longevity of those stadiums. So yeah, obviously Empower Field is fine for now, but maybe in 2 years, seats start literally coming out of the stadium and everyone's just like, well, we need a new stadium. Maybe it becomes FedEx Field where, opposing fans literally come crashing down onto the players. Like, I don't know. But Damani Leach said that there's a healthy amount of pressure because the Empower lease expires in 2030. So if you guys didn't know, the Broncos actually don't own that stadium. It's owned, is it owned by the city of Denver? I just know they don't own it themselves, like the Broncos, so they have to figure something out in the meantime. Now, Penner also said they're not currently decided on features such as, dome, retractable roof, location, natural grass, turf, or whatever, anything you can think of in regards to a new stadium capacity or anything like that. But once again, because there is so much talk about this, it is definitely coming. So here's why I don't care about the location. So whether it gets built in Denver, Aurora, or Lone Tree, there is going to be a certain portion of people who live in the Denver metro area who are going to get hosed either way. So, for example, if you build it in Lone Tree, it's tougher for the people in like Thornton or Brighton or even Commerce City or Longmont to get down there. If you build it in Aurora, fans from Evergreen, fans from Morrison will have a tough time getting there. And that's not to say that it's not already tough to get there for them now with where we are at Empower Field. But if you build it somewhere else, you're only making it more of a hassle for those fans to get there. But once again, no matter what, like a certain portion of the fan base will be how do I put this? Will be unfortunately getting the short end of the stick. Now, listen, I agree with moving it out of downtown. Like, I know a lot of people don't want it to be moved out of downtown because, the Broncos, the Nuggets, and the Rockies are all in downtown. Downtown obviously has the necessary infrastructure to support, people who want to make the trip. Downtown has, the restaurants, the bars, they have all that. But like I said, like the area around Empower Field is not great. Now, granted, I know this dude who got a really, really nice apartment across the street from Empower Field. Shout out to you, Zach. But like, what is around there? Like, anytime I go around that area or anytime I just drive past, I'm just like, wow, there's a bunch of coal trucks. There's the light rail station. There's Meow Wolf. And then on non-game days, you're just like, what else? Like, honestly, like that's my thinking behind it. And honestly, the area in downtown is just not entirely safe where it is now. It could be in a much worse area. And I'm not here to say that Denver is a dangerous city or anything like that. But the area around it's just not that great. Like, if you go a mile further from the stadium, then, I'm going to say that the place is much nicer. Like, or the area around Ball Arena would be perfect. Unfortunately, that's already possessed by the Nuggets and the Avalanche. A lot of people have said tear down Elitch's and build the new stadium there. Just don't agree with that at all. So here are some things I want to see with the new stadium. So I want real traditions. We have no traditions that are known to NFL fans. By the way, the incomplete chant doesn't count. When I think of the Chiefs, as much as we hate them, they have the tomahawk chop. When I think of the Steelers, they have Renegade. When I think of the Vikings, they have the skull chant. So yes, we have the marching band. We have the thunderstorm parachute jump team that comes out before the games. But listen, when you ask, honestly, I think a lot of our fan base, what traditions do we have at our stadium? I think a lot of them won't be able to know. And that's honestly because we don't really have a lot of traditions that are known to NFL fans. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I just want someone to be able to come to, our new stadium and be like, yes, this is what I'm going to see when I see the Denver Broncos. Now, what I do want above all else is an ultimate home field advantage. So I want a bunch of wacky stuff going on to give us the best advantage possible. And anything is possible with Walmart money. Walmart's building the stadium, so I want the sun in the other team's eyes. I want less oxygen on their sideline. I want it to be louder on their sideline. I want it to absolutely shatter opposing teams' eardrums. We have years and years on record of stadiums being built with the intent of piping all the crowd noise directly to the field. So with the Broncos, I want it to absolutely shatter Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes' eardrums when they're on offense as well. And listen, I also want to see the Broncos Ring of Fame. I still want to see it like circulating the rafters. I would still want to see it like in that circular shape in the concourses. And yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, I made a typo with that one right here. So yeah. So two things cannot happen with the new stadium. So first of all, no PSLs, no public funding. So with a season ticket wait list of over 100,000 people, PSLs would be an ungodly, horrible idea. It would be a huge middle finger and just create a bidding war for, a bunch of people like foreign investors or whatever, like ticket scalpers to just scalp tickets. And then it basically ruins home field advantage. You look at the teams that have implemented a lot of PSLs over the past few years, like the Raiders, they don't have a home field advantage anymore. The 49ers, they have one, but pretty much only rich fans can attend the games. Seattle as well. I don't even know if they have PSLs, but, I remember watching Seattle versus Green Bay last year, and, like, the whole crowd was Packers fans. So with the richest owners in American sports, we also cannot give any tax money to a new stadium. Listen, I'm not here to say that we need to, increase taxes or, the government deserves whatever, because honestly, they waste a lot of it. But so I'm not here to get political or anything like that. That being said, I would much more my tax money go to something useful and something that I think would be useful rather than a stadium for the richest owners in American sports. So yeah, those are just the two things that cannot happen with the new stadium. It would be ungodly embarrassing if we were to do that. Now, one thing to note is that only 3 of the 32 owners in American sports did not receive a dime of public funding for their new stadium. So you're not going to guess who they are. You're definitely not going to guess who they are. Woody Johnson, John Mara, and Stan Kroenke, pretty much regarded as the 3 worst owners in football. Those are the 3 who did not get a dime of public funding for their new stadiums, or for their stadiums that they currently play in right now. You probably weren't going to guess that, but yeah. Anyways, that's just basically what I have to say about all this. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I will give you a huge mile-high salute. and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.